Alright guys, welcome back. We are going to start episode 2 here. I'm just going to scan some of these light sticks to get them out of the way. They're annoying to me. And we'll get some plant matter. Alright, so we're going to press 1, pull out the mole, and we are going to follow this sort of little path here. Again, click, and we start digging through. We just have to be careful. I'm going to spend some time between each click just to let the heat go down. If we overheat... Well, actually, you know what? I'll show you what happens if we overheat. Dig through here.
I never got the chance to thank you for getting me out of that
Keep going until we overheat. And now you can
it.
see that heat level goes down.
At the time,
it
seemed like the best thing to do was focus on work
overheating,
not get caught up in thinking about anything else. I've tried to stay sharp for both of us, but now that we're almost back to the main line, I'll admit it. I was terrified. It'll be good to see some friendly faces. And a few thousand twinkling lights. I'm sure you've got people there too.
Alright, so Sparks is done talking. We're just going to dig along the river here. We are sort of following along this beacon. I almost let it overheat there again. Whoops. Luckily I caught it just at the last second. Eventually we're going to have something called coolant or shiverthorn coolant, and that's going to absorb the heat for us so we don't have to worry as much about overheating. But for now, early on in the game we do have to worry about overheating, so we'll just go a little bit slower here. We've made it through to another cavern. Again, these green vines, these are all sorts of plant matter, just chock full of plant matter. They're great. Alright, and then we can just kind of dig through the ceiling here above the river. And we are almost there. And you see, by the way, at the top where it says protected area, we cannot dig down to the river level exactly. This is as close as we can get, so it's going to say protected area. It's not going to let us dig any lower near the river. But here we go, we made it through. And let's do a little bit of scanning. Oops. I thought we could scan this moss. Well, we can scan this green one, or Dawn Strand. I know we can scan some of these. Maybe not. Alright, well, let's move on. Can we scan those? Yep, we can scan those. We can scan this. A new plant here. Moon Blossom. We can scan that, gather some of this. We can scan these.
I don't understand.
And now we'll listen to Sparks.
A factory the size of a city is supposed to be here. It was right here. I know it was. Where is everybody?
We got the mole flatten technology. Let's get some power floors and stairs out of here. And some more conveyor belts, inserters, and containers. We'll get those, always useful. And now let's service this production terminal. Let's see, what does it want? Alright, we want iron, we have all the iron we need. And copper, we have all the copper we need. Kindlevine stems.
This terminal is trying to reach out to 100 facilities that might not exist anymore. If we can repair it, we might be able to decipher where those facilities are located. Our people are out there, just like we were. I wouldn't ask you to rebuild this sector for the expedition, but I will ask you to do it for them. The faster we get on these signal and repair objectives, the better our chances of finding them will be. Right now, you should either get started on a local mining operation to make ingots, or start looking into how to make those Kindlevine stems. If you check the chest near Victor, you might find enough power floors to decipher the first signal. We definitely need new types of machines to make the goods this terminal's looking for, and those signals seem like our best shot at finding them.
Alright, so they have definitely changed. There's another long inserter. So that long inserter just at the top gave us one regular inserter and some mechanical components. They have changed a lot of the way the game plays through now. So there used to be some what we call assemblers along here. So they've changed it now. They've changed the requirements for these production terminals. And we can see it says hit J to manage our tasks here. We can just kind of mouse over. These are all things we've already completed. And now we have some new objectives. So in our top left, for Production Terminal Victor, we got those iron ingots and copper ingots. We need to work on those Kindlevine stems. And then it says decipher signal AS-2013 by crafting and placing an unknown number of crank generators, and the same thing for power floors. If we mouse, or if we go back to J, sometimes it'll give us a progress bar here on the left, like, oh, how far are we? This one actually tells us let's place 30 power floors. I'm not going to quite do that yet, actually. I'm going to clear out some area here first, just because this is going to be useful. This is another big iron vein here. We're definitely going to use this iron vein, so I'm going to clear out some space around it. And let's also do that. And just so I build on the right level, I like to build everything on the right level. Actually, you know what? I won't ruin the story. I'm not going to go ahead. I'm just going to clear out this area. Again, I'm going to hold E. We're going to get all of this stuff. I think I'm going to dig... You know what? This level's going to work. That's fine. We'll stay on this level, and we will build some materials here, or some buildings that are going to help us progress along. So, let's see. We need to place some power floors, so I like my power floors to be on 6. Great, they're already on 6. So let's place some... Let's get rid of this pesky little light. Let's place some power floors here. This is what power floors look like. You can just click and drag. That's nice. And we're just going to kind of fill up this area with them. I'm going to get close. I don't like having my power floors kind of go where they shouldn't, so I try to... I try not... You can actually put power floors that are almost completely covered up. I don't like doing that, so I'm not going to. I'll let them be covered up a little bit. And you can see on the left there, it's giving us a progress bar. So we have almost placed the number of power floors we need. Let's get one more row here, and boom. So we've placed enough power floors.
Local signal deciphered. Ingress RH1979. Report to production terminal radio for triangulation.
Alright, so when we complete the task, it's going to say, hey, go back to the production terminal, and it's going to triangulate our radio, and it'll give us something to go towards. So let's hit E.
Signal triangulated.
And let's see.
New location added to HUD. Exceptional dimensions.
Alright, RH. So we have a new signal here. They have, again, some of this might be different from what I've gotten used to, because this is my first time doing a brand new playthrough of the base building update. I've played a little bit of the base building on my old save. I'm just going to gather all of these. Alright, so RH is actually not that one. We're going to go along this way. Yeah, we're going to have to dig through the ceiling here. They might have changed kind of the narrative of how, and when you unlock stuff. Oops, I overheated. So always be careful. Make sure you pay attention to that heat. Otherwise it takes a while to cool down on its own. So they've changed kind of maybe the order some things are done, but they have not really changed what is unlocked where. So that's good. So I know
I'll
that
bet
this one
Victor
is gonna
intentionally
get us...
chose to give us that RH signal on your HUD because it'll lead us toward making the Kindlevine stems it wants to chew on for self-repair. These production terminals, a big bunch of babies.
Alright. Anytime we see some of these fragments here, we're going to scan these. This is a high voltage cable. So one... On the top we see we need 5 of those total, so we're just going to scan the ones we see here. Anytime you see these fragments, it's always good just to scan them. You don't want to have to remember where you saw something to go back to scan it later. We didn't get all 5 that we needed, that's a shame, but we can scan this. That's a new plant. Alright, we can jump, we can go along here. Anyways, so they haven't changed the, they've changed maybe the order, but they haven't changed what you need, so I kind of know all the bases that we need to unlock stuff. I'm just going to gather more plant matter. And if we look at our echolocator, again, we can see there's a cavern in here. We just don't quite reach it. So let's just dig through right here. You can see this opens us up into that other cavern. So that's one trick to the game. If you don't know where to go, just hit M. You can zoom in, you can zoom out, and you can kind of see places you need to get to. And in fact, we actually need to get to this area up here. So we can go through here, and we cannot quite get in there.
Keep chewing around the edges of this place. If they manage to get all that in there, there must be a way we can get in too. And if you look at the signal on your HUD, it should be pretty precise on where the entrance is.
Yep, so see RH on my HUD is right there, but we need to get back in here, so in fact I know that this is the way to get in. It's back here. We've got a rock in the way, we'll get rid of that rock. Alright, so we are in here. We see another fragment here, let's grab that. That is pack size 2. Let's just read what that one is. I know what it is, but let's read it. I think that is in... Where is pack size 2? Is it in synthesis? No. Is it in terraforming? Science? Am I blind? Maybe I'm blind. It might be one of these tech trees we haven't unlocked yet. It is. It's in logistics, pack size 2. So we can't quite get there yet. That's a production terminal Victor one, but that's okay. Let's see what this door wants.
Door unpowered and secured.
Let's scan that. That's a crank generator. We have a crank generator now. So let's place... also, you can hit sort. Sort is really nice to get stuff. I don't actually know the order that it does it. It's definitely not alphabetical, but it at least puts things in order. Let's get our crank generators onto the floor. So this says, craft place at the top left. Craft place and use a crank generator to restore power to this door. So let's place a crank generator here.
Crank generator. Activate with manual or automated rotation to produce electricity.
So we're going to hit E, and we are going to hit activate crank, and then we have 5 minutes, and this crank is producing 150 kilowatts. And we can see we're not actually consuming any of that,
Power
but
restored.
we are producing it. And now this door opens. So that's all this door needed us to do, was just place that crank generator.
Jackpot.
And there's lots of
A
stuff to scan
warehouse.
here.
I knew that gigantic door was a good sign.
We'll listen
Scan
to
this
Sparks
place
for
for
a
some
second.
basic electrical machines, especially those planters and threshers on the racks, and pick up anything else you can find.
So that was 1 of 3 planters. We'll quickly learn what these planters are for. Let's also get these. This is the fast inserter. We actually already have some fast inserters in our inventory, but we're still going to scan all these. They're just giving us, if we see at the top there, they were giving us some electrical components, some plant matter fiber, and some kindlevine extract. This is a different kind of inserter. This one's called a filter inserter. We need to scan 6 of those. There is 2. Scan that. This is a thresher. We'll scan this guy too. Takes a second. They changed the scan times and a lot of stuff, so we need to scan 2 total threshers. Alright. We'll just keep scanning away here. Halfway through the filter inserters. Get some more of these fast inserters. I don't think there's anything in any of these crates, but because they've changed the game, there might be now. So we're going to have to go ahead and check all these crates as we go through. We'll get our second thresher. So now we have unlocked thresher technology in the tech tree. And let's get more of these filter inserters. And this is going to be the last one. So now we have unlocked filter inserters, and those are in logistics, and we're just actually going to research that now. I know we're going to need that, so we're going to grab that. We're actually, because we got some cores, I know we're going to need this. We need to scan 1 more planter
Task
still.
inbound. Filter inserters. Must be configured to transfer materials and products of a selected type. Electrical power required.
Once you have actually unlocked something,
Filter
then they start
inserters
to
are
scan really
especially
fast.
critical for machines like threshers that produce both seeds and plant matter. You might not want to have different things spitting out to the same line or getting pulled into the same machine. And the filter inserter is going to help you with that.
That is part of the monorail system. This is a monorail depot. Alright, so we've scanned everything over here, and in our tech tree, let's go back to synthesis. Now we're going to unlock our planter, and then we're going to unlock the thresher, and let's keep going. Kindlevine threshing. So this says, enables kindlevine harvested from a planter to be threshed into kindlevine seeds and kindlevine stems. Kindlevine stems can be used as fuel. Let's grab that. And let's read the next one. Enables the threshing of kindlevine stems into plant matter fiber and kindlevine extract. We are definitely going to want that. And the last one here enables the ability to craft lightweight plant matter frames. We are definitely going to want that. Alright, so I think now we've unlocked almost everything available to us. We need 2 more research cores to get that crank generator. So we'll eventually make some
Task
couple more
inbound.
research cores.
Planter. Supply with seeds to rapidly reproduce fully grown flora. Electrical power required.
Alright, I'm trying not to
Task
talk over the
inbound.
system here.
Thresher. Supply with resources to produce a variety of organic goods. Electrical power required.
Alright, it looks like it's done talking. So we're going to scan this last one. I just didn't want to talk over the system. This is actually going to give us the beginning of our next research core type. So you see there, 1 of 4 research core blue. So we're eventually going to be converting from pink research cores into blue research cores. We're just going to keep scanning all of this. Again, the scans are really fast now once you've unlocked it completely. And these are just giving us components. So once you have unlocked something and you scan it, it's just going to give you components. So we're getting lots of inserters, lots of electrical components. Anytime you go to one of these new facilities, you always want to scan everything. And then just in case, we're going to check to make sure there's nothing in any of these chests. Because I want to say in one of the facilities, there's a bunch of empty chests and there's one that has something in it. And it might be this facility. Yep, look at that. See? 2 Atlantum ingots. But my inventory is full. That is annoying. So what we're going to do is we're going to come along here. We move so slow. I do not like how they've made it, how slow we move in here. But we're going to put a lot of this limestone in here because we just don't need that right now. We can also pick that back up by hitting F. So right now we really don't have a whole lot of inventory space, and that is where this pack size 2 is going to come into play. So we really want to get this next tech level. So let's gather those Atlantum ingots. Alright.
Lots of good tech fragments here, but I doubt we'll find anyone to rescue.
We'll get some
People would
crank
take what they
generators
needed
and
get back out there.
accumulators. Gosh, we move so slow inside these facilities now. I really don't like it. They really made you move slow. You can't sprint, and at the beginning of the game when you don't have a lot of the... can't reach that. When you don't have some of the suit speed improvements, you really do move slow. So that's one thing I wish they would improve, but alright. We can scan all these. There we go. Again, the reason I'm doing this is we're going to get lots of useful materials, so anytime you get to one of these facilities, it's always good just to scan everything. You might not think you need it, and later in the game maybe you don't need to, but it's always good, especially early in the game. We're getting lots of components that will save time that we don't have to craft later. Alright, so I think there's some more planters down here, and I think there's another chest hiding somewhere. Yep, some more Atlantum ingots. And let's go ahead and scan these. Of course, I now have gotten myself stuck over here. Let's jump over here. Alright. They really fill some of these facilities with lots of stuff. You don't have to scan everything, but again, it's nice. And let's just hit M. We can check around. There is another chest somewhere. Although I think that other chest... No? It looks like it might be down here somewhere. It's back there. So again, always check your map. You'll see where there's stuff you can interact with or items that have been placed. We're going to jump up. And we're going to go down, back around here. Gosh, movement is so slow. I'm not used to moving this slow. Ooh, so this is that Shiverthorn coolant I was talking about. So
Mole
now,
temperature calibrated. Auto injection of coolant standing by.
we're going to pull out our mole. We can't actually use the mole in this facility. So I'll just hit Q to put that away. Gosh, we are moving so slow, but we're almost out. And actually, look at this. Here's another one of those high voltage cables. That's the last one we need. This should be our 5th. Yes, high voltage cable unlocked. Or the tech is now available. Alright, so let's gather some of these. We're going to want some of these. These are giving us Shiverthorn seeds. But alright, so let's see. Now, if I just destroy this, we can see now our coolant went from 100 to 98. Now we can see the coolant is being used up, but now we're not accumulating heat. So that is something that's really useful. I'm going to zoom out on the map really quick, just so in our mini-map on the top right we can see more. And now I'm going to hit shift again to enable that speed. It's much better to be sprinting almost all the time. I'm going to gather some more of this. And then
You can head up that way to explore if you want, Breaker, but you definitely have everything you need for now.
Alright, thank you, Sparks. We're just going to take a second here. We are going to go up this river. I know she's telling us we have everything we need, and we technically do, but I know there's some stuff to scan up here, so we're just going to get that real quick. Here we go. So they've moved assemblers. They used to be over by Victor. Now they have moved. Let's see. Scan this. We need 1 of 2, and here's our second. Alright. So now this is all new. They've moved a lot of this stuff around, so I don't know where everything is.
Task inbound.
But
Assembler.
that is
Power
going
with
to be
electricity
useful
to
have.
produce items in multiplied quantities.
In other words, even though you can handcraft anything, Assemblers will make 2 of them in the same time it takes your portable tool to make 1. And we can build 1,000 assemblers, but nobody could ever build another one.
Actually, you know what? I'll wait. I'll wait till we get the signal to decipher that one. And we are going to go through here. One thing I'm actually going to do on our way back, I'm going to gather a lot
Yune has anti-gravitational weight limit exceeded.
Your suit can only hold so much in a weightless state without slowing you down, Breaker. Get to a container and offload a few things as soon as possible. Now that we have planters and smelters, you'll want to start building them on power floors as soon as possible. And don't forget to build a few crank generators on the same floors to get them going.
Alright, so we have a nice big mission there with lots of stuff to do. I'm going to ignore that for now. We have so much excess. I'm going to put a lot of the stuff we're not going to use. We're never going to use Sparks, at least for now. We might put her on a conveyor belt later. We're going to get rid of this. We're never going to use that. For now, we don't need some of these things. So I'm just going to get them out of the inventory because all they're doing is eating up space, and we really just don't need those yet. We're not going to need that. We're not going to need that. We are going to want those. So this is just clearing some stuff out of the inventory. We'll come back and grab that later. Again, I am still going to keep gathering the plant matter. Alright, so before we do anything, we're going to set up a mining operation here. And so to do that, let's see. We need lots of limestone and copper components. So of course I just got rid of my limestone. So let's just go back and grab some of that limestone. Again, control-click is going to take everything of a certain type in there. So I know we're going to want maybe... let's see. We know our smelters are producing... They're doing 30 ore per minute into 15. And these are producing 25. So if we do 4 of these and 4 of these, that's going to be 100 and 120. To get to, I guess we would want... what, 6 drills for 5 smelters? I don't like that ratio, so let's just do 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll get 4 of those, and we'll get 6 drills going. We're just going to do 3 and 3 for now. That's the easiest ratio. What I don't want is I don't want extra ore clogging up that belt for now. Eventually, once we get some of the speed upgrades, things are going to work out nicer in terms of ratios. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go back here, and I'm going to grab some of the copper and iron. While we've been gone, all that copper and iron has just been accumulating here, which is really good. And we can also check on the status here. See, look, we've got we had a little over 500 before. Now we have a whole bunch. A lot of it's clogging up the belt here. You can see some of it has still not even gotten inside. So our machines are still not actually consuming some of that plant matter, but it is now fully saturated. And now also, if we look at this, see, we're only consuming at the bottom left there 2 of those per minute, the biobricks, whereas these are consuming, oh, these have biobricks in it now. Looks like biobricks have gotten there, but there's just a couple extra plant matter there. But anyways, it consumes biobricks much slower. Let's hit space to gather all that copper. Oh, and look at this. See, we are out. We're out of fuel. Let's get... Why? How are we out of fuel? It seems like... Interesting. Maybe we just need to get more on the line. So let's do 5. Let's just get another couple inserters there, placing more and more plant matter. I'm surprised that this didn't saturate, but that's okay. Now we know we just need to get more of that. So we're going to be a little bit short on iron. We have a lot more copper than iron. That's alright. So we've gathered everything from here. We're going to have to come back here every once in a while just to gather some of those resources. Eventually we'll kind of shut down our operations at Lima. But it'll turn out that Lima is actually a nice little place just to have a small operation. So we'll keep that up for now. But we're going to head back to the Victor area. And we are going to get started with this whole Kindle Vine setup. So let's see. I actually, I lied. I said I wasn't going to go and do a signal ahead of time. I am, because I want to get the right height. I want to make sure I'm operating at the right height. And I never seem to remember the right height if I do it on my own. So instead, we're going to dig through here. Alright. So this is the height I want to be working
a battery
at.
pack. Sorry, an accumulator substation. I'll try to go easier on the recon slang. It might help you guess at what those signal names are short codes for. Accumulators won't matter for a while, but get in the habit of scanning anything and everything you find in places like these. It can only help.
We are going to want all sorts of power floors, so I'm just going to go build a boatload of those. And then this is the height that I'm going to actually have my main factory floor here on. So we'll build this out a little bit of the way, and then we will extend it out that way. We will just keep extending, because we're actually going to build on this level. Get some of these out of the way. Now, you notice that these power floors are on a different level. We're one level away. That's okay. I'm going to have my my iron production one level down, because we do want to make sure that we have enough space to kind of double stack our iron up above. Eventually, we're going to need lots of iron production. And you know what? To speed this up, I'm just going to use the mold. And we can see we are quickly gathering all of this. We're kind of clearing out the fauna there. Flora, rather, and that's okay. We quickly gathered all sorts of this. We're just clearing out. We have lots of plant matter in our inventory now. Alright, so we know the level we're going to build our factory on. And let's see. I am going to make a section here where we're going to produce our plant matter. So let's do this. We're just going to build a big factory floor here. The threshing and the plant matter the planters, they take up a little bit of space. So this is the area that I choose to do that in. I mean, you can build anything anywhere, but I think this is where I'm going to put these for now. You know, we have this whole big cavernous interior we can build in, so we've got all sorts of building space, but, you know, let's just build something. Oh, and you can see we're almost out of power floors, so I'm just going to mash a bunch more of these. You can see now the copper wires take a little bit longer to build. That's unfortunate, but that's okay. So we're going to build this, actually, for now. We are going to need a little bit more space. I know we need a little bit more space, so let's do that. Alright, so now let's see. While these are building, we can follow the instructions up here. It says craft and place a planter on a power floor, craft and place a thresher on a power floor. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a number of these planters. We're going to do, that's 4, that's 8. For now, we're going to make 8, and then we're going to build 1, 2, 3, 4 threshers. I know that's what we're going to need, and in the bottom right, while all of those are being made, let's come back over here and let's just see. We already made our drills ahead of time, so let's just get some of this going. We're going to need to clear out more space around the iron. This is a pretty decent sized iron vein. My keyboard is messing up a little bit right now, so we're kind of stuck. Here we go. I have a new keyboard on the way. This one has some struggles. So we're going to clear out some of the space around here. Alright, so we've kind of exposed this iron vein on this side. That's what we want. Let's get some more of these power floors here. I like building everything on power floors, although with the new base building update, I'm probably going to start using some of the new items, although in this playthrough, of course, we haven't unlocked those, so we can't use those quite yet. But we're just going to clear out a bit more space here. This is probably good enough. Alright, and so let's get things going. I know, in fact, actually, I'm going to want 2 more of these. So we're going to build this as far over as we can. We still want to make sure that the drills engage with the iron. That's pretty good. And again, we're going to follow the, 3. We're going to follow the same pattern before. We're going to leave 2 two spaces in between, but now I'm going to try to get these as close as possible, and you'll see why later. Eventually, they do eat away physically at the iron wall here. So let's see, we're going to actually get down... Okay, so here, I don't think... Well, yeah, we can make that work. We'll make that work. As long as we have the separation 2 left and right, that's going to be fine. And then this one is just barely going to fit here. We're barely going to be able to get 4 of these placed in view of the iron. This one really, oh, you see it barely fits, but I think that should still engage with the iron. Yep, we are going to hit that. So let's, again, I'm going to build my power floors everywhere. It's not necessary to build the power floors everywhere, but I'm going to do it anyways. And I'm just going to clear out some extra space here. Alright, so let's get our power floors out here. Oh, and we can see... Oh, I don't have enough power floors. Of course I don't. We have a long inserter just sitting in the ground there. We'll gather him. And... Alright, we don't have any more power floors. That's obnoxious. That's okay. Let's do, again, our ore belt. So we're going to come out here. Oops. And we are going to come along here. We're going to come along here. And... we'll do that for now. And let's get all of our inserters. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, so all of our miners are set up once we supply them with fuel. I'm actually going to do the whole setup here. So I'm going to get everything they need. So we need now a fuel distribution system. I think I'm going to put that just for here. For now, it's just going to go here. I'm going to put all this plant matter in here. And now let's get that fuel distribution system. So that guy, and then here is where I think it's not going to let me do what I want. Let's see if I build... See, it for some reason it doesn't let you build a splitter. It doesn't let you build a splitter when you have a turn going into a slope down. I don't know why. It's a little bit annoying, but that's okay. So to make sure that this all works, we are just going to have to bring this over one more, and then we can connect that. Sometimes it's a little bit finicky getting stuff to connect. That's okay. We're just going to follow this belt along, though. I like doing my fuel belt up top like this, for whatever reason. So then we're going to loop our ore around. Oops. Now, when this happens and it doesn't automatically connect, that's okay. You just rotate it until it does. And then, let's see. So we're going to want our smelters. I want my smelters all in a line. Where do I want those smelters to be placed? Do I want them going left and right? Do I want them going up and down like this? I think I want them coming like this. So I'm going to put this line like this. And that's how I'm going to do that. Alright. Ooh, we don't have enough power floors again. We have all the materials. We can make lots of power floors, but it's really slow right now because we don't have enough copper wires. And we will fix that problem soon. Alright, there we go. So now at least I have power floors all along here. I really want more. I just don't have enough right now, but that's okay. Let's get our smelters back on the hotbar. Let's sort these. Alright, so I'm going to put my smelters... Remember, you need to always make sure you have room for an inserter there, and now this turns out to be poorly placed. That's alright. I'll just pick it up. When I delete a chest that has stuff in it, it just puts everything back in my inventory. So let's get more of our smelters built. 1, 2... Get rid of that little rock there with the mole. Back to our smelters. If I hit Control 2 and then 8, that puts me there. That's 4 smelters for 4 miners. That's going to be just enough. And now we can finish, get to our fuel. We can get that there. And then remember, we're going to need a fuel line. Oh, also, I'll show you guys a new one. because I'm not building on power floors yet, if I hit 1 to go to the mole, oh no, I haven't, I unlocked it in the tech tree, or I unlocked the technology, but I can't actually unlock flatten yet. That's unfortunate. Alright. Well, ignore that for now. We can extend our power floors out a little bit, actually, and I am going to. Remember the, we'll just build more of these. I don't want to hit shift click because it's going to make them all. I wish they had like a make 5 or something, but they don't have that quite yet. You know, if I were to build some, you know, conveyors like this, I don't like things going down the slope, which is why I like to build my power floors like this, just to prevent my conveyors from being silly. Oops. Alright. So we need a fuel line and we need an output line. So we're going to bring our output over this way, and then we'll have that just go into another chest here. So I can have that, that, and that. And in fact, I'm going to have 4 things. Oh, nope, I don't want that there, because remember, I need my fuel line. And my fuel line is going to come from here. So my fuel line, we need to feed all of these. And we need to get rid of this wall here. Alright, so let's do that. Alright, so there's our fuel line part 1. And let's see, how do we want to do this? I want my fuel line, if I were to come down, oh look, see, it can't pull from a slope, so it has to be flat. That works. So now we can just do a little, I like to do these little loops. So I clear a little bit more space here. I'll show you how I make a little loop here. Sometimes it's weird when you don't start at the right spot. So let's click that, and then we'll come down, loop, hit R a couple times, and now we've got this little, it's going to go over that. So let's, again, I like to set up all my inserters all at once before I get my facility going. So we're just gonna, for now, what I do is I put this little buffer. So instead of sending all my copper bars directly to machines, I'm gonna send them to this buffer, and then we will eventually have copper being, or iron being sent out of this buffer chest onto all machines. Alright, so we are going to send, iron is gonna come out this way, and then my fuel line, I need to extend that. Sometimes the snapping can be really weird sometimes. I think they made a change at some point, and snapping just behaves a little bit weirder now. So we'll have our fuel going in. Alright, so now you see they're all saying, oh, I don't have enough fuel, I don't have materials. But we have our fuel lines almost set up. This one is going to be a little bit annoying because we cannot, if we send it down here, remember it's not going to allow us to do a splitter there. So I need to... How can I do this? Let's start. And again, if I think I have really placed this poorly, haven't I? Because we need to get to here. So you know what we're gonna do? We can come along this way. This looks a little bit dumb, but it's gonna work. And then we need to go that way. Alright, so now our fuel lines are all set up. Good. So what we're going to do is we are just going to put... We have all our fuel in storage here, so let's get that fuel going. I'm actually going to use a fast inserter. Nope, I'm not, because fast inserters require power. Never mind. And because I just want to get this fuel out here really quick, I'm going to put some more inserters there. So we're really going to saturate this belt with fuel. And what we can see is it's going to split here, so every other one's going to go along the 2 outputs. And then as soon as they get their first fuel, they're going to start drilling. And then we're going to have iron ore coming along. And then, as that iron ore comes along and we have more fuel going to our drills, yep, see, that one got its first fuel. Again, it takes a second for everything to get going as we start saturating the belt with fuel. But now all of our smelters have a little bit of fuel, Oh, and I didn't put anything on the input for the smelters, so let's remember to get those in. There we go. Alright, so now we have inserters. Again, these are consuming 30 per minute, these are producing 25, so we're going to be just barely starved on ore. That's okay. I'd rather be starved on ore than having belts back up. This guy's still waiting to get his first fuel. There we go. And now they're all digging, and he just barely is hitting the side of that iron deposit. That's funny how that looks, but that's alright. And he already ran out of fuel. So I'm just going to manually give him some fuel, because it's going to take a while for all these belts to saturate. You can see this one's already saturated, so now instead of splitting every other one, if they can't make it along that belt, they're just going to all go along there. So eventually these are all going to saturate. It's just going to take a second. That's alright, but now we already have, see look, we already have 23 iron ingots in here. We'll just grab all those. So now we have our iron ore production going. Alright, and at the same time, I was crafting all of those threshers and planters. I'm going to get more power floors going. Can never have too many power floors. Eventually we'll have all of that automated. Now let's go along here, and we have our planters. So I'm going to show you the setup that I use for my planters. Alright, so I want
You've got the right idea building one of those, Breaker, but don't forget that it needs electricity to run. And that means you need to build it on a power floor that has a working crank generator on it, too.
Alright, thank you, Sparks. I'm actually going to build the whole setup here. So 1, 2, 3. I build 4. Then we're going to have a space down the middle for a conveyor belt, and another 4. I like this setup because then eventually I can stack another 8 on top. And at least as of the prior update, this was the ratio that I needed. I don't know if the ratios are the same actually, but we'll find out. We're going to build this along the edge, so this is going to send our plants all the way down. Each of these is going to want an inserter facing that way, and then we are going to want a belt that's going all the way around the outside. We'll press R. Press R. Alright, so now these are going to be actually outputting. So on the outside, and you'll see in a second what's happening here. Alright, this is my setup. Okay, and then we are going to actually extend this belt just one more step, and then we're going to bring this guy over top, and he is, well, you know what, for now, let's just do this. Now we're going to place a thresher. So I know for my thresher design, I like that, where he's going to output there, which means I actually miscalculated by 1. We're going to come this way. Alright, so what's going to happen here is my planters, they're going to get seeds. The seeds are going to come in from the thresher, so I'm going to put that. This is a filter inserter. A filter inserter, we hit E on it, and then we select the item we want. I want this one eventually taking seeds. I'm going to put 2 regular inserters here. These are going to take the Kindlevine stems that are produced by my planters. And then, so the seeds are going to go out on this line, and then the Kindlevine stems that are produced by the planters are going to be coming along this outer belt here. Now I need a bit more space, so let's make that space. So in fact, I built this almost the right size. Okay, so now I'm going to build another one along here. I'm going to put some more filter inserters here. This is really a shame. I don't know that... Oh no, we can build filter inserters. Good. So we're going to need filter inserters. We're going to need all sorts of inserters. So let's get these going. And then I think what's going to happen is we're going to get this setup going, and then we're going to end the episode. I think we've been going for a little bit. So 1, 2, 3. We're going to need 3 of these eventually. These are going to take Kindlevine stems. So this is what's going to be produced by this first thresher. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to build the rest of the setup, and then we're going to just hijack those Kindlevine stems first. So what do we want here? This line is eventually going to come down. I fell. That's okay. Let's see. We just got to go all the way over back here to get back up. Eventually I'll have some stairs to get down to that level. Alright. This guy... Nope. R. Here we go. We want him. He's going to come all the way along this way. I don't exactly know how far it's going to need to go. We'll figure that out here in a second. Alright, so what do we want to do? So we're going to... I think we're going to start as far down this direction as we can go. And we want an output here. And in fact, I know that I'm going to need a little bit more power floor on this side. So, what am I going to do? I have a way of making these. We're going to come along here, and then out here. One more. Of course, I fell down again, but we can get back up.
Your stuff has places to go and machines to meet, Breaker. Keep building those conveyor belts.
Every time you hit a certain number, you place something, it'll trigger sparks to give you a nice little comment about how well you're doing. Alright, so I promise we're going somewhere with this. So this is going to be outputting one of our products, and we're going to have another line here outputting the second product. And this line is actually just going to come all the way along here. And then we're going to build another thresher. The reason I'm doing it like this is I know how many I need. I need, for every one thresher here, I need 3 threshers producing the outputs. This guy is going to come along here, and he is going to loop this nice little loop-de-loop thing. And there's no, it didn't, oops, my keyboard just died again. Let's get back in here, okay. It's not making the little splitter thing there because I haven't extended my belt far enough. So we actually need to extend this belt a lot further down. And then this, let's remake that. There we go. So what's going to happen is one of the products is going to come along this outer belt. You know what? I keep falling. If I keep falling, maybe I'll learn. Alright. And then the other product is going to come along this inner belt. And we'll build our third thresher here. And then once we have the third thresher built, we need an extra space there. That's going to be enough. So move this guy. We're going to have him come out and around. So now this belt has one of our products, and this belt has the other one. And it doesn't really matter which one we pick. Let's go get some filter inserters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we'll do all of the ones on the side. These threshers end up producing just absolutely so much material, and now in fact I see the folly of my ways. I have not given myself enough space here, so all that work was for naught. We have to get rid of it all. Start again. We also have to give all these threshers an input, so we actually have to come along here. He needs an input. For now, we'll just use a regular inserter. And then, now this one, we can do like that. And we'll give him... So we'll build our next thresher. Yep. That's just a mass deconstruct. So we'll get rid of all the extra stuff we built, and we'll get that rebuilt really quick. Sorry, I know sometimes it's tedious, but you make mistakes building. I want you guys just to kind of see how this all goes. So there we go. So now this line can come out and around, and it actually, so there's a reason why I'm sending it this direction instead of this direction, and that's because this guy is going to come in here. The game does not like having 2 of these next to each other. If I had brought this around here, I'll show you. The game does not like having 2 of these boxes next to each other, so that's why, in fact, I bring this one and I go that direction. Alright, So this is set up, so let's get our filter inserters on the output. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll have our input filter inserter here. Oh, nope, he already has an input filter inserter. Alright, and then he gets his input line. And then let's build this. 1, 2, 3, we come across. You can tell I've done this a number of times because I at least know in general how much space I need. And let's get our last filter inserters here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we need belts to go a little bit longer. Alright, so again, this line on the inside here is going to have one set of materials. And let's actually see. So we're going to be producing plant matter, fiber, and kindlevine extract. I don't know which one I want on which line yet. We're also going to need a whole lot more of these. So for now, I think I'm just going to have the plant matter fiber on this inner one. So these three all need to have plant matter fiber. So again, I'm just hitting E and selecting the product that I want the filter inserters to take. And then that means kindlevine extract is going to go on the other three. So we'll set up all of our filter inserters. I wish there was like a copy and paste. I don't think that exists in the game right now, so we do have to individually click all of these, but that's alright. And then this guy, yeah, see the first time I built this, I knew I lined everything up. He has an input. But what we're actually going to do, because we need a number of these kindlevine stems, we're just going to put a box right here for now, and we're going to have some input going in there. So actually, you know what? That'll work. We'll just have some extra. So all of this is set up now. We just need to provide some power. And so for that, we are eventually going to build all of our power generation on the floor here. So I'm going to get something set up that's eventually going to look like what I want my power generation to look like. Come on, there we go. And let's just go this way. So eventually we're going to have what we call water wheels. Water wheels are really nice because they automate our crank generators. But we don't have enough space, or we don't have the technology for water wheels right now. So we're going to just do this last little bit of building. Yeah, this is going to work. So now I'm just going to build some power floors this way, and then I'm going to delete the ground out here. And we're just going to go along here. We're going to delete some ground, and we're going to dig through here, because we're going to have a big row of crank generators. And right now we have 6 crank generators available, so I'm going to place my crank generators where I know they need to be eventually, which I think is right there. Yeah, this is the right size. And then the crank generators all have to be on a power floor. I'm just going to build one. They only need to be connected down the middle. You can build more if you want, nothing's stopping you. But hold on. The question is the game going to let me build? I think the game will let me build a water wheel there, so that's nice. Water wheel space is sometimes at a premium, but I think it will let me build one there. So I'll build my first crank generator here instead. Oh, one more out. I'm sometimes very OCD with how I build stuff, so let's get all these crank generators down. So that's all 6 crank generators, which right now I have to activate individually. There's going to be a technology that will link all these together eventually, so I only have to click one of them. And then, for now, we're just going to build some stairs. Actually, we already have some stairs. Let's just put those there. Stairs, I think in this update, actually will now link
Those stairs
power.
conduct power the same way floors do, Breaker. Might not sound like high technology, but it was.
Alright, so let's see. These threshers, if you see the bottom left there, they consume 200 kilowatts each. And then the planters, I think this tells us here, they also consume 200 kilowatts each. At the beginning, though, we only need a couple planters. I'm going to do one. I'm just hitting Control-click. This is going to fill all these up. And these, I think they've changed the timer on this. Let's check. Yeah, these only take 120 seconds now. So they have finally, this used to be 128 seconds, which was just absolutely the most ridiculous production ratio. You had to get really weird. So that means, let's see, this is 30 seconds per seed. So we have to start calculating some new production ratios. But while this is going on, we're still going to need more power. So I'm actually just going to build a whole nother one here. I happen to know the size of things that we need that will work with our water wheels eventually. So I'm just kind of pre-building around that, and eventually we'll see as we get to this. We're not going to be able to build another water wheel there, so let's just do this. And now, of course, we're out of crank generators, so we need to research that technology, and I have not yet researched that technology. That's under energy. We don't have enough cores. So what I'm actually going to do is run back to the other base where we have some of our cores placed. Eventually we're going to again have something to automatically place those, and I could place them nearer, but this is just an excuse to run back and gather some of the iron and copper that's being produced over here. There's probably going to be a lot. I might not have the inventory space for it all, but that's alright. So let's check and see how much copper do we have, and we'll also check the status of our fuel. So we're actually almost out of fuel here. We'll give that a little bit more fuel. That means we're probably out of fuel here. Oh no, we still have some plant matter, so we're not totally destitute for fuel quite yet. So let's gather all the iron we have, and then we have a couple more research cores, so we're going to place these down. We'll just get all those placed down. How many more do I have? 3? 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now we can actually research crank generators, and we can build those, and while we're running back...
Well done, Breaker. Your first Kindlevine stem just got threshed, and you're on your way to repairing PT Victor. You've got the fundamentals now, so I'm going to start letting you learn from your mistakes instead of buzzing in your ear about them. One last thought. Those stems you're making are more than good for PT Victor. They're also a better fuel than plant matter will ever be. Pop a few into your drills and smelters, and you'll see what I mean. Good luck.
Threshing initiated. Be advised that all generated outputs must be relieved for production without disruption. Filter inserter recommended.
Right. A thresher can make 2 products out of 1 material, so make sure you have inserters pulling out both, even if you only need one of them right now. The machine can get backed up if you don't.
So
Task
here we
inbound.
see we
Double
have
threshing.
these plant matter stems.
Thresh
Those are being
Kindlevine
picked
to
up
produce
and put
Kindlevine
into this
stems.
thresher, and this
Thresh
thresher takes
Kindlevine
those
stems to produce plant
and it
matter
produces
fiber.
seeds. So this
Assemble plant matter
Alright,
fiber
I'll let the
into
system
plant
talk.
matter frames.
This filter inserter takes those seeds and puts it along this line, and then now these planters pick up those seeds and grow them. And then when the planters are done, here we can see this one is getting close. They're going to put these stems on the outer line. So those stems on the outer line are just going to travel around here, and then this one is going to pick it up, put those in here, and then let's watch this production. See, it puts the plant matter stems along this line. And then now, this one got plant matter stems, and it's threshing these into plant matter fiber, and we will see as well the Kindlevine extract. Now the plant matter fiber has already backed up, so it can't get rid of all of these. The Kindlevine extract we can see is coming along this outer line. So we need to build a little bit more space here. Ooh, I'm almost out of... Ooh, I'm out of power floors, and I'm currently building these crank generators. So we are in a little bit of a tight spot for a couple more seconds. Let's see, can we build a pack here? Oops, we can just barely build this here. So let's get some of these. Alright, so we're at least dealing with that. You know what? I'm going to cancel all these. We just need more power floors. Again, all this is going to be automated eventually, but we really need to be able to get rid of this stuff off the line. So for now, all this plant matter fiber is going to get put into this chest here. And here we go. Now we have more space. And okay, so that sound there, that was the sound of all of my crank generators turning off and all my machines turning off. So these ran out of crank time. They only work for 5 minutes. So we'll just crank all of these again. And you can see the amount of power we're consuming. 950 kilowatts, we're only producing 450. We need to get more power out there, which is why we have these extra crank generators being produced. So let's get 2, 3, 4. Let's get these cranking. There we go. So all these are cranking, and now we can see we just have a little bit of power surplus. So that is good. So let's now get back here, and we need to do, let's just lap this around, and then we're going to need some more power floors along here. We'll bring this. I like things to be symmetric when I can, so we'll get another container here. Scroll through till we find it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so now all this Kindlevine extract is getting cleared out of the system. We've picked up some plant matter fiber, we're getting that Kindlevine extract. And so we can see now, these are all kind of working in harmony. And now if we mouse over this, this will be the end of the episode here. We can see this thresher is taking as an input 10 of those stems per minute, and it's producing as an output 10 seeds per minute. So that's good. So it's going to produce, every seed produces 1 stem. So this at least is going to kind of naturally work itself out with all these planters. And then we're producing 30 of these plant matter, just steal one of these off the line. So we're producing 30 of these Kindlevine stems per minute. And then if we notice, look at this one is consuming 10 per minute. So that's why we have 3. So eventually we're going to stop stealing all of these, and we're just going to let that flood this line. And so this one thresher here is going to feed these 3 threshers perfectly, because each one of these takes 10 per minute. This one is producing 30 per minute. And then these are outputting 30 Kindlevine extract and 30 plant matter fiber per minute. And right now, these are just going to get sucked into here. So with that, we will end this episode.